Well, hello, hello, hello. My name is Teresa Micheletti, and this site is called Take What Rings True. So today I'm going to talk about negating limiting beliefs. So we all have things that we believe or that have been entrenched in us that allow us or cause us to. Let me see if I have a sound on here. No. Okay. So again, my name is Teresa Micheletti, and this is Take What Rings True. So if you don't believe something I say, fine, let it go. I'm in my sister's house, so I'm on the porch for Thanksgiving tomorrow. So, limiting beliefs. We often have these beliefs that don't make any sense or are not helping us or are preventing us from getting what we want. So we can decide, okay, I want great wealth, or I want perfect wealth, or I want to be able to be successful in my job, but we have some belief that preventing us from doing that. Like your parents were not wealthy, and it's like you have to save every penny, and you're not going to get enough. You have that. I'm not going to get enough. I'm not going to get enough. And so it becomes true because you are a powerful programmer. And what you believe is what you get back. You know, the thing to get a friend, you need to be a friend. To have people treat you nicely, you need to treat them nicely. So that's a limited explanation. So today, I want to give you a technique. My friend, Maggie, Maggie Wild, had two strokes. And her second stroke, she was having difficulty functioning. So she was in bed, not able to move much. So her friend that she was staying with said, you need to deal with this. You need to figure out how to heal yourself. So she did a lot of research on brains and how they work. And one of the things she came up with was CPR, which of course is a planned word, CPR. So C is for control, P is for program, and R is for rewire. Because if you want to change something in your life, you need to reframe it. You need to have a new pathway because your brain makes pathways. It's a pattern seeking device. And you have this belief that, okay, your parents said that they're never going to have enough money. And so you took that in as a 3-year-old, 5-year-old, 7-year-old, 12-year-old, heard it over and over again. And it's in your mind that that's the pathway for money. Money is you'd never have enough. So you need to rewire that. You need to reframe it. So whatever it is, you're not worthy enough. You can't do things. You'll never be able to drive. Whatever it is that's holding you back, I'm going to teach you a technique from Maggie to help you rewire or reframe what you believe. Well, not what you believe, what you want to believe. So, control. Techniques to switch off what's not working for you. So, you need to identify what you want to change and then create space for you to do that. So, you're controlling what you want to believe, what you want to have happen in your life. Program, you lay down the foundations for changing the habit, changing the emotion, changing the sensation, changing the reaction, whatever it is. And then you reframe it, but she calls it rewiring it so that you get more helpful responses to whatever it is. It could be life stress, it could be money issues, it could be expectations of any kind. So physical reactions, habits, impulses. Maybe you're one of the people who's a shopaholic and you don't want to be. Well, then this is a way, or I'm going to explain a way to change that. So there may be something in your subconscious that might be holding you back. So I was talking about family beliefs or fears or doubts. Maybe you don't believe you can be successful because people told you you can't go to college, you can't do whatever it is, fill in the blank. Or maybe it's your father's beliefs, or your father's beliefs, fears, or doubts, or your grandparents, your teachers. Some friend told you, your peers told you. So, if that's the case, I would like you to think right now of a belief that maybe you would like to change. Some expectation you have in your life that you would like to change. So keep that in mind because we'll come back to that in a minute. So you're going to clear or delete or change the thought process in your mind. So whatever that is, so you choose one unhelpful reaction from your list or one unhelpful belief on your list. And then think, what do you want to believe, to experience, to feel, to think instead? What is it that you want? And then you think, okay, I'm going to clear and delete all that's in my way of achieving whatever it is. Not feeling worthy or whatever. So your desired outcome, if it's not feeling worthy, your desired outcome is I feel wonderful. I feel accepted. I feel people love me. I feel I'm able to do anything I want to do. So whatever your desired outcome is, you need to think of that. Now, all past, present, conscious and unconscious ideas that you have in your head, some of them you don't even realize you have, need to be cleared and deleted. So everything that's connected to that goal that's keeping you back needs to be deleted. So enough is enough. The past is the past. So in your heart, say, I am ready to receive whatever your desired outcome is. Okay. You're going to say to yourself, I release myself of this, whatever the state is you're trying to clear, of this fear, of this worry, of this belief, whatever. I free myself to take charge. It doesn't make what happened right or wrong. It's simply time to feel safe and to take charge. So you're releasing your intent. So rewiring. Now, this is just the overview. I'm going to give you specific words in a little while. That's like a framework of what to say, but this is the overview. I release myself. So maybe I free myself to take charge of whatever it is. I release myself from this fear. I release myself from this worry. I release myself from whatever. And then you say to yourself, it's simply time to feel safe and take charge. It doesn't make anything right or wrong. It's just, I would like to change. So, and then think, I'm learning to feel safe with whatever it is you want, with feeling worthy. And that feels good. Now, if your issue could speak to you, what would it say? One of mine was not feeling worthy. So that sensation or that idea would say, what makes you think that's true? It's not. So what would it say to you? If that idea, that belief had an emotion, what would it be? So the emotion for me was a negative one of the expectation of this group, this person, this whatever is not going to make me feel worthy. So I would be anxious. I would be wary. So those are the emotions that I can think of for that. If it had a sensation, what would it be? To me, it's like a stillness because it's anticipation of not being treated as I wish to be treated. What's the sensation? Sort of like for me, a stillness and maybe like a little tingly. Okay. And then you say to yourself, that's not me. That's just wiring, firing. And the idea is you create pathways in your head. Like your parents told you, that your family's never going to have enough money. And so that's in your head. I'm never going to have enough money. That is a pathway. That's a wiring in your brain. And when you think money or whatever your issue is, when you think that issue, then your brain fires off that pathway of what your brain thinks that you want to follow through that pathway. So you say instead, that's not me. That's just wiring, firing. So we can change those beliefs. Now, here is the way she came up with changing your state, changing your pattern, changing your pathway. So you have to figure out a way to do this. So I'm going to teach you the technique she used. So number one, if it could speak to you, what would it say? Just remember that again. If it had an emotion, what would it be? If it had a sensation, what would that be? Then say, repeat after me, that's not me. That's just wiring, firing. Now, blink slowly 3 times. Roll your eyes one way 3 times. Slowly, slowly, slowly. Roll your eyes the other way 3 times. Take 3 deep breaths. And as you let the breath out, say, I let it go. Now, think of your belief again and think of a scale from 0 to 10. What is the level of that belief? What's the intensity of that belief? Do you still believe? I'm going to use the example I gave before. Do I still believe that I don't have enough money? There's never going to be enough? What is that on the scale? Maybe it's a 5, maybe it's a 7, maybe it's a 3, whatever it is. So 10 would be 0 would be I'm not feeling it at all. Okay. Let's see if I can get this to move. Okay, here we go. Okay, so control, program, rewire. So first, now we're going to do it for real. That was the overview. So think of your issue, whatever it is, whatever your belief is, whatever is holding you back. So think of that issue. Number 1, measure the intensity. What is the intensity right now? It like 10, you're not going to be able to handle yourself today because blah, 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 whatever the issue is. Or 0, doesn't bother me anymore. What is it on the scale? Okay, if it could speak to you, what would it say? If that issue had an emotion, what would it be? If that issue had a sensation, what would it be? Now say out loud, that's not me. That's just wiring, firing. Blink slowly 3 times. Roll your eyes in one direction slowly 3 times. Roll your eyes the other way 3 times. Take 3 deep breaths, and as you breathe out, say, I let it go. Okay, now what's the intensity from 0 to 10? Has it gone down? So you can repeat that sequence as many times as you need to bring it down to 0, to bring it less so that you can get through your life a bit easier. Okay. So what you believe. If you believe you have relationship issues, then what is it that you want to believe now that you're not believing? Maybe you only believe, oh, I can't have anyone wonderful in my life because my family never has anybody wonderful in their life. I'm always going to have someone who takes advantage of me. No, not true. That's a pathway you have in your brain. That's a wiring. And it fires, the wiring fires, the pathway fires whenever you think about relationships. So let's go back to the money example. If you made money mistakes, well, then negate that. You don't have to continue that. That's in the past. What's your relationship with money? What's your relationship with your issue? And then you blink 3 times, you roll your eyes 3 times, you roll them the other way 3 times, and then you have the clearing. So the clearing process is just a way to train your brain to have a different pathway. It's called pattern interrupt, the rolling the eyes. I mean, there's other ways to do this, but this is just one silly way, it seems. But it's definitely a break in the way you're thinking. You have to stop and think, okay, roll my eyes this way, roll my eyes that way, take 3 deep breaths. And that interrupts the pathway that you were just thinking about so that you can rewire and reframe what you want to believe, whatever it is, your relationship expectations, your money expectations, your fear expectations. So think about your issue, but think about other issues. What were your parents' beliefs? What were your father's beliefs about life? Was there something that was unhelpful or that you took in as a child that maybe you want to change? So that's your mission today for me, I believe. Think about issues that you want to change, and then you're going to work on one at a time. One at a time. Did your father or your mother have doubts about whatever it is your issue is? Doubts about relationship, doubts about money, doubts about worthiness, whatever it is, stop and think. Is there something in my life, some belief in my life, expectation in my life I want to change? You can make a list and then choose one at a time to go through that example and see if you can dampen it down and create a different pathway, a different expectation that you're going to keep. Are there successful beliefs that you have? Of course there are. Then you need to make the unsuccessful ones, the unhelpful beliefs, you need to change. So work on one of them at a time. Look, my friend Maggie Wild went from not being able to get up to being bedbound and barely able to function to walking, talking, world traveler, author, international known hypnotist. So you can change your beliefs. Often we think, oh, I can't change that. My whole family whatever it is, the issue. My whole family is unsuccessful. My whole family can't have a good relationship. Or your friend. You know, uh, friends are helpful, but sometimes they say things to you that are not true. I have a friend who believed a doctor who said that she would have PTSD for the rest of her life. That's their opinion. It's not true. What belief do you have that maybe is not true? So today I'd like you to take some time and just think about, what do you believe in your life that might be able to be changed, that's unhelpful? What is holding you back? What is blocking you from being able to have an easier life? What did your teacher say to you? I remember I've talked about this before. One of my teachers said, if anybody who gets a C in this class will never be able to finish college. It's like, what? That's not true. What did your friends say to you that maybe isn't true? What do you believe yourself that you've decided that doesn't make sense, that's unhelpful to you? So you decide what you want to change in your life, a habit, an idea, a belief. Then you think about clearing those thoughts, and then use that brain training control technique that I gave you and interrupt the pattern. Create a new pathway that your brain can accept. It loves to have a pattern, loves to have a, a pathway to follow. It's like, you think money, okay, this is the pathway. You think relationships, this is the pathway. You think worthiness, this is the pathway. So make your pathways be the ones you love to make your life easier. So that's my thought for today. I wish you a wonderful Thanksgiving, because this is the day before Thanksgiving that I'm in the USA, that I am recording this. So if you have questions or successes, please let me know. If you want me to work with you specifically to help with this, I'd be glad to do that. And you can reach me. You can go to bookme.name/Teresa, THERESA, M. And that will get you to my website that explains my services and connects with me. Yay. Thank you, thank you, thank you for joining me. And remember, whatever belief is you want to change, you can change it through CPR. So that is control. What is it you want to know about that needs to be changed? And P is programming. So that's thinking it through. And R is rewiring, CPR. So I wish you success with CPR. You can listen to this again and go through those steps. All right. Bye. Okay. End stream. End stream.